Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very warm welcome to this Monday, 31st July morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discussion. Today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 9, Text 27. Before we discuss on this verse, let's sing Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe, Jai Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe, Jai Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Stotra Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Mayapur Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samved Bhaktavrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desha Tarine Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu Krishne Matirastu Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 27. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmānam. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmānam. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmānam. Word by word, yatha, as much as, atma, own, maya, potency, yogena, by combination, nana, various, shakti, energy, upabṛṁhitam, by combination and permutation, vilumpan, in the matter of annihilation, visṛjan, in the matter of generation, gṛhṇan, in the matter of acceptance, bibhrad, in the matter of maintenance, ātmānam, own self, ātmanā, by the self. Translation: and please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. The whole manifestation is the Lord Himself, but diffusion of His different energies only, namely the internal, external, and marginal, just as the sunlight is a manifestation of the energy of the sun planet. Such energy is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord, just as the sunshine is simultaneously one with and different from the sun planet. The energies are acting by combination and permutation by the indication of the Lord, and the acting agents like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are also different incarnations of the Lord. In other words, there is nothing but the Lord, and still the Lord is different from all such manifestive activities. How it is so will be explained later on. But before we discuss on this verse, let us offer some prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namashreshtam Manamapi Shachiputram Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Murupurim Maturim Goshthavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Adadandastranam Dante Idam Yacha Punah Punah Shriman Rupa Padambhojam Dhulisyam Janma Janmani He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 27. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmānam. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. So this is the verse where the devotee is asking the Lord how the Lord is acting in this wonderful way. Yathātma-māyā-yogena. So this is the transcendental potency of Krishna, where Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita itself that Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrata Mudhoyam Nabi Janati Mamebhya Paramavayam. So the transcendental divine nature of Krishna is not seen by everyone. It has to, a person should have that eyes anointed with love for the Lord. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Then one can see the Lord. Otherwise, one can chiram vichinvan. Nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. So this is Gyane prayase udapasya namanta eva. Jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam sthane stita shrutigata tanuvan manobhir ye prayase ajita jitopi asita istrilokyam. As it is mentioned by Lord Brahma in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Lord Brahma says that through knowledge, if one is trying to understand Krishna, that will not be possible. Gyane prayase udapasya. Then how is it possible? Namanta eva. When one is in a humble state of mind, understanding that everything is being done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabho mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So when one knows that everything is coming from Krishna, Aham sarvasya prabho mattas sarvam pravartate, everything is coming from me, Krishna says, then iti matva, when one knows this, what does one do? Bhajante mam. And who is such a person? Buddha, a person in knowledge, renders loving devotional service unto me with bhava samanvita, with full emotions, with full intensity. So this is the yathātma-māyā-yogena. So Krishna is performing all these wonderful activities of creation, maintenance, and destruction through his energetic potency, through the medium of Maya. So he has got the internal Maya, or his internal energy, which is called the Yoga Maya, and then he has got his external energy, which is called the Mahamaya. So the internal energy of the Lord is creating the environment in the spiritual world where the Lord's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is forgotten by the pure devotees of the Lord. So this is how the different relationships are getting established. The Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. The Dasya, for Dasya, that much of Yogamaya is not needed, because the normal way in which the Lord is seen is through awe and reverence. So the Vaikuntha planets are in the Vaikuntha planets where Vishnu, the four-armed Vishnu, is a supreme person. In those planets, the awe and reverence is the most important aspect of rendering loving devotion service to the Lord, because there is the Aishwarya Bhava of the Lord. There is the opulent form of the Lord in the Vaikuntha, in the Vishnu Lokas, where Mahavishnu is a supreme person. Then, if we go into the Dwaraka Vaikuntha planets, again Krishna would be considered as the king there, because he's ruling Dwaraka planets. And there also there is an Aishwarya Bhava there. There is a little bit of awe and reverence. Even though the awe and reverence is decreasing a little bit there, there is more other bhavas also there. But the main one still remains as awe and reverence. Then if we further proceed to Mathura and Mathura Loka in the Vaikuntha planets, and then we go to the Vrindavan. So this is Goloka Eva Nivasati Akhilatma Bodha. Goloka Vrindavan. If we go into that aspect, that spiritual planet of Krishna, there we see that the awe and reverence is conspicuous by its absence, because there the more important types of relationship with Krishna is Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. As a friend of Krishna, as a parent of Krishna, and as the lover of Krishna. So those are very prominently seen in the Goloka Vrindavan. In fact, that is the main beauty of Goloka Vrindavana, where Krishna is Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not seen by the devotees who are intimately associated with Krishna. For example, the friends of Krishna would see Krishna as a friend, not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The parents would see Krishna as a child, again, not as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, we see in all the wonderful pastimes of Krishna's childhood pastimes with the Yashoda-Maya that sometimes Yashoda-Maya thinks that might be someone, Krishna is probably not a normal human being. Krishna is someone, some God has given him some boons and he's a great person, kind of thought. But always they are not knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So it is quite interesting how the gradation of devotional service to the Lord takes place. So in the beginning, when one is rendering loving devotional service to Krishna, one knows the greatness of the Lord. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvida. That Krishna is actually the proprietor of everything. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam yathātma-māyā-yogena shantim ruchati. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, when one knows that Krishna is actually the enjoyer of all the penances and sacrifices done by everyone, irrespective of who the person is. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. That he is the actual proprietor of all the planetary systems, Sarvaloka. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, that he is the best friend of all the living entities. So when one knows these three things, that Krishna is the actual enjoyer, Krishna is the actual proprietor, and Krishna is the best friend of all living entities. When one knows this in truth, iti matva bhajante mam. So, Bhoktaram yakitapasam sarvaloka suhridam sarvabhutanam yathātma-māyā-yogena shantim ruchati. One actually attains real peace. So that is the formula for real peace, when one understands that everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincham jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma gṛhṇa kasya svidhanam. As it is mentioned in the first verse of Sri Ishopanishad, that uh, one understands that everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing is mine, including the so-called my body and the so-called my mind and the so-called my intelligence. Everything. If one very clearly knows this, then one is in a transcendental platform. One transcends the modes of material nature. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, this avyabhicharani bhakti. What does it mean, avyabhicharani? It means that constant, without any break. How can one render constant devotional service to Krishna without any break? It is when one knows that everything is Krishna's. So wherever one sees that this is, because this is energy of Krishna, Krishna is present here. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Tasya ham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, that when one sees me everywhere and everything in me, I am never lost to such a person, and such a person is never lost to me. This is the way of remembering the Lord always. So this verse is actually helping us to remember the Lord always. How it is helping? Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam. The first two lines of this verse, where it is being asked to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that how through your yoga maya-yogena, through your internal potency, you are creating through your energy and through the various permutations and combinations. So this is another aspect. So we know that there are three modes of material nature. There is satvat sanjayate jnanam, rajasa lobham evacha, pramada moho tamaso bhavato ajnanam evacha. So it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna that in the mode of goodness, one is trying to understand and acquire the knowledge. What is that knowledge? The knowledge of knowing who we really are. It is ātmānam nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etad jnanam iti proktam yadato ajnanam anyatha. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that the spiritual knowledge, ātmānam nityatvam, always being engrossed in the spiritual knowledge, nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam, knowing to understand what is the real truth. Etad jnanam iti proktam yadato ajnanam anyatha. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna declares that is the real knowledge. The real knowledge is our understanding of our original nature. Because when we understand and when we are based in our original nature as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, we are in a transcendental position. We transcend the modes of material nature. That is what is Krishna says, Mam avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. So when one is rendering that loving devotional service to Krishna, why does one render loving devotion? Because one understands that everything belongs to Krishna. So it is not that I'm doing something great by rendering devotional service to Krishna. Because anyway, it is Krishna's, it is being used in Krishna's service. So it is a natural way of using anything. So if something has been given to us by someone, the best way of using it is in the service of the person who has given it to us. Right? So that is a natural way of using it. The unnatural way of using it is that one is trying to gratify oneself separately and trying to use that thing without being grateful to the person who has given us. So that is unnatural way of enjoying something. The natural way of enjoying something is when one is grateful, with a grateful heart. Even one is personally enjoying some things, one has got a grateful heart and one is being grateful, saying that this has been provided by you, O Lord. So when one is in that frame of mind, that is what is jnane prayasya udapatsya namanta eva. That is namanta. Namanta is when one is grateful to Krishna, that, oh Krishna, you have given me this life, given me this body, given me this mind, and given me everything surrounding this body through which I'm enjoying. So not only the body, the senses, the mind, the intelligence, the false ego, uh, the spark that we are is Krishna's, but also whatever so-called enjoyment things are available for the senses to interact with the sense objects. That is also given by Krishna. The nose smelling nice things, or the ears hearing nice sounds, or the eyes seeing nice things, or the tongue tasting nice things, or the skin touching nice things, everything. So when we look at the whole existence, there is nothing other than Krishna, really, through his energy. So this is the Atva bhavnetena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, he gives various examples of how he is present everywhere. He says that I'm the taste of the water. So rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi sureyo pranavas sarva vedeshu shabdam khe paurusham nrishu. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that taste in the water, the light coming from the sun and the light of the moon. Prabhasmi shashi sureyo pranavas sarva vedeshu. The Omkara mantra coming in all the Vedas. Shabdam khe, the sound that comes in ether, any kind of sound. So that is Krishna, any kind of sound. Tapamyaham aham varsham nigṛhnāmi utsrajami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasachaham Arjuna. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that he is the heat during the summer season, or whatever heat one gets in any kind of season. And he is also the rain, aham varsham. He takes away everything and then he gives back. Nigṛhnāmi utsrajami cha, creation and dissolution. Amritam chaiva mrityuscha. He is immortality and he is death. Sad asat chaham Arjuna. He is the truth and he is also the untruth. So there is nothing that the Lord is not. That is a wonderful nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is there in the form of his energy everywhere. His parashakti and aparashakti. His superior energy and his inferior energy. So Krishna mentions his inferior energy is bhumirapa analo vayu khammana buddhirevacha ahankaram iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are my 8 energies, separated energies. Then Krishna says, apareyam itastu anyam vidhime prakritim param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharete jagat. That superior to all this, there is another energy of mind, which is the living entities. And they are jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharete jagat. So they are actually using the inferior energy and doing various activities out of it. And among all the living entities, the best form of life is the human form of life. So this is the nrideham adyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukolena nabhasvateritam puman bhavadbhiya nataretsa atmaha. So it is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that this human form of life, nrideham adyam sulabham sudurlabham, even though it is the best form of life for understanding our original nature as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, it is sudurlabham. It is very rarely attained, the human form of life. Nrideham adyam sulabham sudurlabham, and it is a plavam sukalpam. It is the best boat to, or the best ship to cross over the ocean of birth and death. Plavam sukalpam. And the captain of the ship is the spiritual master, Guru Karnadharam. Mayanukulena nabhasvateritam. And Krishna is sending the wind in the right direction so that one can cross over this ocean of birth and death. Mayanukulena nabhasvateritam puman bhavadbhyena taretsa atmaha. So even under these conditions, when one has got the best way or the best body in terms of crossing this ocean of birth and death, one has got the best captain in the form of the spiritual master. And one has got the best motivational person who is constantly helping one in that journey. That is Krishna. Even after the presence of all these 3 wonderful attributes, which help one to cross over this seemingly unsurmountable ocean of birth and death, one still is thinking that one is this body. So that is the dehatma buddhi. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhik kalatradishu bhaumyajyadi yatirtha buddhi salilena karechij janeshu abhigneshu sa eva gokhara. So it is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that until the time one is thinking that I am this bag made up of bile, mucus, and air, through the intelligence and through the mind, I'm thinking that I am this body. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhik kalatradishu bhaumyajyadi. From my intelligence, I'm thinking that this family is mine. How can the family and etc. be mine if the body itself is not mine? And so the basic, where is the body coming from? It is basically coming from the parents. But in terms of the actual presence of that living entity within the body, how is it coming? It is coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Karmana daivanetrena jantur deha upapatti striya pravishta mudaram pumsareta kanashraya. So it is mentioned that this constant birth of the living entities is taking place under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Karmana daivanetrena jantur deha upapatti. So this the deha, the body, is getting to the living entity jantu upapatti. It is getting produced. Striya pravishta mudaram pumsareta kanashraya. So the sperm and ovary that is producing the body. But then where is that energy coming from? Where that growth is taking place? Who is creating that energy? So this is the wonderful Jiva Bhuta. It is this the Parashakti of Krishna, the superior energy of the Lord. And it is the superior energy and the inferior energy that are combining together to create the living entity. So the inferior energy is used in the creation of the physical body and the subtle body. The physical body is made up of the earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, earth, water, air, fire, and space, the five ingredients. And then the subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. But everything is inferior energy, under the category of the inferior energy. Why it is inferior energy? Because if there is not the presence of the living spark, they deteriorate. They do not combine together. They do not combine and perform different activities. The combination of all the elements coming together and making something that performs activities, grows, is because there is this presence of the spiritual entity. Once that spiritual entity goes, everything disintegrates and goes back to its original places. So the earth part will become earth, water part becomes water, fire parts become fire, air parts becomes air, space is already space. So this is what is happening in terms of the disintegration. The integration and disintegration. The integration is happening because of the presence of the superior energy of the Lord, and the disintegration happens when the superior energy of the Lord leaves. So, and then we do know that the mind, intelligence, and false ego is being, the subtle body gets carried from birth to birth, and it has got those impressions stored in it. Every moment's impression is getting stored. That is chitta. That's why it is called chitta shuddhi. The chitta is the memory of each and every moment that we experience in each and every lives. Innumerable, unlimited lives that we have been having. So that's why there is this concept of chitta shuddhi that is mentioned. So that means that cheto darpana marjanam, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions in Sri Shikshashtakam, that the chitta or cheta, when one is cleansing it through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one is cleansing the mirror of the the chitta, the mind, which is storing all the impressions within it. It is this unlimited storage of unlimited impressions, and because of that unlimited impressions, one is not able to see oneself clearly. Just like if there is a mirror which has got lots and lots of dust, one will not even know that it is a mirror. If it has total dust, unless one actually starts cleaning the whole thing, and then one suddenly knows, oh, this is the mirror. Oh, now I can see myself. It is exactly the same case of the chitta shuddhi, or the mind. One does not even know that that one has one's own eternal nature. The real spiritual journey starts when one understands one's eternal nature. Until then, it may be spiritual in the sense that if one has got that faith that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is providing everything. So then, in that, if that belief is there, that belief will slowly help one to gain the knowledge of self. Because Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tama nashyami atma bhavasto jnana dipena bhasvata. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, that when one is going to Krishna, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Therefore, it is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that even if one has got lots and lots of desires, one should go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, purusham paramo. So, kama sarva kama moksha kama udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Purusham param is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one has to render loving devotional service to Krishna. So we see, we have discussed in one of those previous verses about Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had this desire of, very simple desire. He wanted to sit on the lap of his father. It's not a very kind of high, for a small child, that desire is very natural, to sit on the lap of the father. It naturally comes to a child. But unfortunately, Dhruva Maharaj's condition was such that his stepmother was preventing him from sitting sitting on the lap of his father. So he had this desire, very simple desire. But when he saw Krishna personally, he said that Swamin kritarthosmi varam na yache. Oh Lord, I am fully satisfied now. I don't want any boon from you. This is the wonderful situation of engaging in loving devotional service of Krishna. That initially one might go to Krishna with some desires in mind. But when one goes to Krishna, and each time when one is going to Krishna, automatically one's desires are getting reduced. That is the natural reaction of going to Krishna in whatever way. Either one might be going, one might be in the highest state of pure devotional service, where there is no akama, there is no jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama anya abhilashita shunyam. So one might be in that state where one does not have any other desire except to serve Krishna. Jnana karmadi anavritam, no tinge of knowledge, no tinge of fruitive activities. Pure devotional service. That is the topmost devotional service. So if one is in that situation, of course, that is the best place to be in. Because in that place, bhukti mukti siddhikami sakale ashanta, Krishna bhakta nishkama teva shanta. So it is mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the person who is engaged in fruitive activities and who wants to enjoy sense gratification through fruitive activities, they are obviously not peaceful. Because every time they are always thinking of what I should enjoy next. I have enjoyed this. I'm keeping enjoying this. Now I have to add one more thing to enjoy. I'm enjoying these two things. Now I have to add the third thing to enjoy. I'm enjoying three things. Now I have to enjoy the fourth things to enjoy. I'm enjoying four things. Now I add five. It goes on unlimitedly. So one has to get unlimited enjoyment through a limited material senses. And that is where the problem is, because the internal potency is to enjoy unlimitedly. And that unlimited enjoyment comes from our original nature. Our original nature, as Krishna is ānanda-māyā-yogena. Krishna is full of bliss. And we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are also full of bliss. So the unlimited blissful nature is our original state of existence. It's somehow or other we have got this external body. And the external body has got limitations. The senses cannot enjoy unlimitedly. Even if we have unlimited resources available to us to enjoy. But our body has got limitations. Our mind has got limitations. So that unlimited enjoyment cannot happen. And this brings in suffering. Because one is thinking that through this body, I can get unlimited enjoyment. But actually, the unlimited enjoyment is already present within. One does not need to do anything literally. And this is the most difficult thing for the conditioned state of existence. In a conditioned state of existence, it is very difficult to understand that the bliss is already present. It is within us. It is not kasturi kundal base mrug dhunde ban mahi. Aise ghatkat ram hai khojat fir kahi. So this is, I think this is said by one of the poets. And he gives the example of this deer running around in the forest looking for where this wonderful scent is coming from. That scent is the musk. There is a gland in the deer itself. So the scent is coming directly from the deer. But the deer is running around the forest looking for everywhere where the scent is coming from. And that poet is saying that why is one hankering after so much sense gratification when the real source of bliss we already have within. So this is the unfortunate situation in the conditioned state of existence. And this is what we are trying to understand from this verse, yathātma-māyā-yogena, nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam. So through Krishna's own potency and through his internal potency, the energy is creating wonderful manifestations, upabṛṁhitam, by permutations and combinations. The permutation and combination is taking place not only of the 5 material ingredients, the earth, water, fire, air, and space, but also in terms of the material energy of the Lord, the gunas. Tribhir gunamair bhaver ebi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabi janati mamebhya paramavayam. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, when one is under the influence of the 3 modes of material nature, the goodness, passion, and ignorance, mohitam nabi janati. One is enamored by the modes of material nature. And because of that, one does not know that Krishna is present here. Every moment Krishna is present. Every moment one can see Krishna. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanana santas sadaiva hrideshu lokyanti. The saint who has totally surrendered unto Krishna is always seeing Krishna within the core of his heart. As Krishna mentions, sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtam attasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. So I am in the heart of all the living entities. So in the heart, the person who is totally surrendered unto Krishna is always seeing Krishna within the heart and also seeing Krishna everywhere in the form of his energy. So this is the nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam. Vilumpan, visṛjan, gṛhṇan, bibhrad. So here, in those words, vilumpan is in the matter of annihilation, visṛjan is the matter of generation, gṛhṇan in the matter of acceptance, and bibhrad in the matter of maintenance. So this is the guna avatars of Krishna. So we see Krishna has got different types of incarnations, and in the guna avatara, there is the guna avatara of Lord Brahma, who is the in charge of the mode of passion, because for creation passion is needed, and that's why when false ego mixes with passion, it creates intelligence. The intelligence is creation. Through intelligence we create. We have got innovation, intuitiveness. Everything is coming from intelligence. And when false ego mixes with mode of passion, it is creating intelligence. And the mode of passion, uh, uh, who is actually governing the mode of passion, the Lord is Lord Brahma, because he is creating. The creation is in the mode of passion. But once something, because one has to be really passionate to create something new. So that is in the mode of passion. But once it's created, one has to maintain it. And maintenance needs a lot of patience. One has to be really, really in a state of calm, peaceful mind to maintain things. And that is the mode of goodness. And in the mode of goodness, the deity, the Guna Avatara is Vishnu. Vishnu is the mode of goodness. And then we have got the annihilation. Annihilation is done in the mode of ignorance. And the Gunavatara governing the mode of ignorance is Lord Shiva. So these are the Gunavataras that we have. And one of the interesting Nimnaganam yatha Ganga Devanam Achyutam yatha Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu Puranam idam tatha. So it is mentioned in the glorification of Bhagavata Purana. There are various similes that are given in terms of understanding what is the best. So it is said that among the rivers, Ganga is the best. Nimnaganam yatha Ganga. Among the Lord Achyuta is the best. Devanam Achyutam yatha. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. Among all the Vaishnavas, Lord Shambhu is the greatest. So that is Shivaya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnusya Hridayam Shiva. So this is the closeness of Krishna and Shiva is just wonderful. Like if we look at Krishna's pastimes, Lord Shiva is always there as guarding the Dham, Dhameshwar. So this is the wonderful relationship between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. It is very close. Kshiram yatha dadivikara visheshayagat sanjayate nahitasya pritagasti heto. Yata shambhutam apidatam samupeti karyat. Govinda Adipurusham tamaham bhajami. So it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita how Shambhu, the example simile given is, the metaphor given is in terms of how a curd is formed from milk. Even though curd and milk are non-different, still they are different. So this is how Lord Shambhu is. Lord Shiva is similar to the Lord, but at the same time is different from the Lord. Simultaneously one and different type of achintya bheda tattva. So this is a wonderful situation of the Lord Shiva, Shambhu, Shiva Shambhu. This is how it is vilumpan, visṛjan, gṛhṇan, bibhrad. So vilumpan is annihilation, which is Lord Shiva, which is coming under the mode of ignorance. Visṛjan, the matter of generation, Lord Brahma, who is governing the mode of passion. And then we have gṛhṇan in the matter of acceptance, and bibhrad in the matter of maintenance. We have Lord Vishnu, who is in the mode of goodness, presiding the mode of goodness. ātmānam, ātmanā. So the last two words in this verse is ātmānam, ātmanā, own self by the self. So this is the wonderful nature of the Lord, that aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. So aham evasam evagre nānyadyat sadasat param paschādaham yadetacha yo shishyate sosmiham. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam actually, to Lord Brahma, the 4 seed verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the first verse of that is, Krishna says that aham evasam evagre nānyadyat sadasat param paschādaham yadetacha yo avashishyate sosmiham. So before everything was created, there was only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after everything gets annihilated, who remains is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the wonderful state of existence, where everything emanates from the Lord and everything goes back to the Lord. So we see Yasyeka Nishwasita Kalam Athavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha Vishnur Mahan Saiha Yasya Kala Vishesho Govinda Madipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita how just by the exhale of Lord Vishnu, all the universes are coming out, Mahavishnu. And then when Lord Mahavishnu is inhaling, everything is going inside him. This is that wonderful, naturally, swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. This is what is mentioned in the Vedas. Natasya karanam karanam cha vidyate, natat samas cha abhyadikas cha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividhaiva shriyate swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. That is what is mentioned about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he does not have anything to do. Namam parthasti kartavyam tishu lokeshu kinchana. Nānā-vāptam-avāptavyam varta evacha karmani. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that actually he does not have to do anything, but he still does activities. Yadyad acharati shreshta tattadeva itero jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. As Krishna mentions, so whatever the great people do, the common people follow it. Whatever pramanam they whatever examples they are setting, the others are following those examples. So this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. He does not have to do anything. Just his portion of the portion, plenary portion, Mahavishnu, when the Mahavishnu is exhaling, all the universes are coming out. Inhaling, all the universes are going in. Natural. So this is the swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. Natasya karanam karanam cha vidyate. He does not have any cause. He is causeless. But he is a cause of everything. Sarva karana karanam. Anadir adir Govinda. He himself does not have any beginning, but he is the beginning of everything else. And he is the end of everything else. So this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Natasya karanam karanam cha vidyate natat samas cha abhyadikas cha drishyate. There is no one equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the greatest. Parasya shaktir vividhaiva shriyate. He has got multifarious energies. And he is creating, everything is getting created automatically through his multifarious energies. Parasya shaktir vividhaiva shriyate. Swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. His jnana bala in kriya, knowledge, strength, power, and activities. All the three of the Lord is swabhaviki, natural, spontaneous. It is not that he has to exert some extra force to do his activities. Just like the involuntary activity that takes place in our bodies, like the breathing or the heart beating, everything is, it's not that we are doing something extra for those activities to take place. Those involuntary activities are naturally taking place. The breath is naturally happening. The heartbeat is naturally happening. The circulation of blood is naturally happening. So similarly, the creation, maintenance, annihilation, and destruction so is performed naturally by the Lord. It is just spontaneously happening without any effort. It is effortless. So this is the wonderful nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All his activities are effortless. It is natural. It is spontaneous. And when one understands this, one knows that the whatever is within us is also provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, all the involuntary activities that are taking place within the body, it is naturally happening. It is not that we do something extra for that to happen. So that is the wonderful creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that there is this this interdependence of all the creation elements that the Lord has created. One is dependent on another is dependent on the third. And like this, there is this network of dependence on each other. And finally, everyone is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead providing all the necessities. It is, and when one understands this, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually providing all the necessities, then one is in that state of mind of gratitude, being grateful to Krishna. And then that is the beginning of devotional service. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmānam ātmanā. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. So Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, he says the energies are acting by combination and permutation by the indication of the Lord and the acting agents like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So Lord Brahma is creating, Lord Vishnu is maintaining, and Lord Shiva is annihilating. Are also different incarnations of the Lord. So these are the guna avatars of the Lord. As we mentioned, Lord Brahma is the presiding deity of the mode of passion, Lord Vishnu is the presiding deity of the mode of goodness, and Lord Shiva is the presiding deity of the mode of ignorance. Yeah, and it does not mean that they are under the influence of those modes. They are just presiding deity of those modes. Actually, when one is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is transcendental. One is not under the modes of material nature when one is serving. And these guna avatars are serving Krishna. Krishna has created these guna avatars, and they are, when they are doing their activity of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, they are serving Krishna directly. And in that service, they are transcending the modes of material nature. The modes of material nature affects when one is in a conditioned state of existence. And one is in a conditioned state of existence when one is not rendering service to Krishna. That is when the conditioned state of existence happens. But when one is in that state of remembrance of the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnum, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Srila Prahlad Maharaj mentions there are 9 kinds of devotional service that one can engage in, starting with hearing about Krishna. So one is hearing about Krishna, then one can talk about Krishna, Kirtanam. Then one hears and talks about Krishna, one can remember Krishna, Smarana. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Then one is rendering service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Archanam, one is giving the flowers to the Lord. Vandanam, one is saying prayers to the Lord. Dasyam, one is becoming the servant of the Lord. Sakyam, one is becoming the friend of the Lord. And then finally the Atmanivedanam, one is giving the whole self to the Lord. That is what Bali Maharaj did. Bali Maharaj, his guru, Shukracharya, actually said that don't give anything to this dwarf Brahmana called Vamana. Krishna appeared as Vamana to give back the heavenly planet to the demigods. So, he is coming as Vamanadev, the dwarf Brahmana. And Shukracharya understands that this is Vishnu coming as Vamana. Shukracharya says to Bali Maharaj that don't give anything to this Brahmana. He is going to take everything from you. But Bali Maharaj is Atmanivedanam. He is that epitome of total self-surrender. So he actually disregarded his material guru. And he listened to his spiritual guru. Spiritual guru was within his heart, pious Paramatma. And Paramatma was directly guiding him. Upadrashta Hanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara paramatmeti cha vikto dehesmin purushapara. So because Bali Maharaj was in that frame of mind of Atmanivedanam, giving everything to Krishna, Krishna permitted that. Hanumanta. So Krishna gave the permission that, okay, you want to do Atmanivedanam, I am coming as Vamanadev for you. And I am helping you to do Atmanivedanam. So this is the wonderful nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he satisfies the desires of all the living entities. Whatever desire they may have, he is Of course, if it is a desire which is not conducive for the living entity to go back home, back to Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, might not immediately agree to that desire. But if the living entity is forcefully trying to say that, Lord, I really want this. Please give me this. I don't. I can't exist without having this desire. Then the Lord will say, okay, you're so much adamant about having this desire. Okay, I give you the permission. The Lord gives the permission, everything happens. So that is Anumanta. He is overseeing all the activities and then he is giving the permission. Bharta, he is the maintainer. Bhokta, he is the actual enjoyer. Maheshwara, he is a great Lord who is controlling everything. Paramatma, Chati apiyukto dehesmin purusha para. So within the body, there is this transcendental person. And similarly, within the manifestation of the whole cosmic manifestation, the Supreme Lord is present in the form of his energy. And then he is creating, maintaining, and destroying. And then this cycle is continuously taking place. But the Lord is totally aloof from this. This is the wonderful potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead. With that, I would like to conclude this discussion. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyatya Desha Tarine. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Krishne Matirastu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.